This shoulder exercise is a wonderful shoulder stability progression. And by stability, it's a series of movements that help create control in the shoulder joint, which therefore protects the mid-back as well as the neck. So this combination of movements you're about to do is a great way to get some blood flow to the rotator cuff muscles in a weight-bearing position and can help build some stability or control in through the muscles of the shoulder and shoulder blades. So why do we do this drill? Well, we often use our arms to help support our body weight, especially if you're in a wheelchair or in a seated position a lot. You have to use your arms as your legs, but we still use our arms a lot all day long. So for example, when we get on and off the ground, we can use our shoulders, but if we have achy shoulders, we can feel uncomfortable. So now we're gonna do the shoulder stability progression. And by stability, I mean control of movement, control of the joint, okay? So this combination of movements is a great way to get some blood flow to the rotator cuff muscles in a weight-bearing position and can help build some stability in through the shoulder and shoulder blades, to include our midline, which our midline is our rib cage area, our abdomen, our lower back, our pelvis, our hips, all the way to our knees, right? Our midline, our core is a huge area. So this is great for that too. So here we go. What I want you to do is get into a push-up position. If this feels really, really, really hard for you, go ahead and go to your knees if you need to. Put your arms underneath your shoulders and place your feet together. If you need some more support, go ahead and widen your stance with your feet. But ideally, keep your feet together and keep your chin tucked and spine nice and straight. You're gonna, if I were to come eat off of your back, it would be nice and straight, okay? So what I want you to do to start is just go ahead and press that chest away from the ground, drop the chest down. With minimal movement in the rest of the body, it's just my shoulder blades moving. I'm really working the muscles of those shoulder blades, which is awesome. All right, so once you complete that, then what you're gonna do is get into a push-up position again, okay? You can widen your stance here, keep your butt as low as you can, keep maintaining a nice straight tabletop position, and with minimal movement in those hips, go ahead and march those hands out, touching one shoulder, then the other, right? Nice and slow, making sure you're breathing, but again, getting as little rotation or movement in those hips as possible, which will really force you to work those shoulder joints and that midline, aka core. Here's what you do for adaptations with this. If you're in a wheelchair and you cannot get to the ground, then what you can do is do this with a cable pull, okay? So you can take the cable basically facing away from the cables, having one cable in each arm and pressing and punching those shoulders out in front of you and then drawing those shoulder blades down and back, right? Just getting those punching motions with one arm or both at the same time is gonna be super helpful. If you can get to the ground and go on your knees, great. That's also, make sure you have a pad underneath your knees so you don't get any skin irritation. For any lower extremity limitation, really just work to press through that prosthetic or orthotic or that disabled or adaptive side, okay? If you have to go to your knees, totally fine. For upper extremity, what you can do is support the limb that you've lost or that's limited with a bolster or a ball or pillow of some sort, a larger pillow, and do your best to press through the limb to get that shoulder shrugging type movement and blood flow. And then if you have invisible wounds of any kind, take your time getting onto the ground and perform this movement with your eyes fixed on a non-moving, non-distracting background. If you are unsure about getting to the ground, you can also do this against the wall, right? In a push-up position, pushing your shoulder blades away from the wall, drawing your chest towards the wall, away from the wall, and then marching in that position too, if you feel more comfortable doing that. Enjoy, this is a wonderful one and will definitely help support that neck, low back, as well as strengthen that core musculature, which we all need support with.